By a wide margin, Americans say the police response to the mob that stormed the U.S. Capitol would have been harsher if the rioters had been mostly black rather than mostly white. A new USA Today/Suffolk University poll finds a 55% majority says law enforcement would have employed harsher tactics against the melee than they did, almost double the 28% who say the response would have been the same. Just 9% say the response would have been less harsh to a largely black mob. It kind of just showed the whole world about how they race white privilege and how the justice system really fears on color, says Jonathan Mutba, 28, an engineer from Somerville, Massachusetts, who was among those polled. Mutba, an African American, says he was shocked by the double standard he saw on display. If that was a group of black people, there would be a lot more bloodshed. President-elect Joe Biden and civil rights leaders have contrasted the massive show of force for Black Lives Matter protests last year in Washington with the treatment of supporters of President Donald Trump who assaulted the Capitol and threatened lawmakers January 6. A closer look. Police response as rioters stormed the Capitol versus authorities' response to George Floyd protesters in Lafayette Park. No one can tell me that if that had been a group of Black Lives Matter protesting yesterday, they wouldn't have been treated very differently than the mob of thugs that stormed the Capitol, Biden said soon after the attempted coup. On this poll question, there is a racial divide. The partisan divide is even deeper. 89% of Democrats say the police treatment would have been harsher for black protesters, compared with 16% of Republicans. A majority of Republicans, 53%, say police behavior would have been the same. Views also vary by age. Two-thirds of those 18 to 34 years old say the police response would have been harsher. Half of those 65 and older agree. In the aftermath of the Capitol insurrection, federal authorities have made more than 70 arrests, and the number of investigations is close to topping 300. The poll of 1,000 registered voters, taken by landline and cell phone January 11, 15, has a margin of error of plus or minus 3.1 percentage points for the full sample. USA Today/Suffolk poll, Americans, braced for violence at the inauguration. See democracy damaged after Trump.